I'm Daphne from Daps Makeup, and I'm here to give you the quick tea on luxury makeup. And today we are going to be talking about Chanel Fall 2023 collection. I am super excited to go over this collection with you. I did get several pieces, so let me show you what I got. Let me come a little closer, okay? So I bought both blushes. I couldn't ignore them both. So let me open them up and show you. There is the $7.98 Beige Rose et Mauve. So the mauve one. I love a mauvey purplish blush. So when I saw this, this was an absolute must. And so this is just beautiful. I've been using it, so, you know, slowly but surely, you know, the embossing is going away, but it has these fall leaf embossing on it. But this is not an overspray in terms of the CCs, so this goes all the way through, so do not worry about that. So even if eventually the fall leaves might go away, the CCs will not. So this is a beautiful shade, having the very deeper shade on the outside, and then the softer pink in the inside. And then I got the other blush, and that is $7.97 Beige et Coral. So coral. So this is the orangey blush, and here is that one. And so both of these colors are just totally up my alley. I do tend to go towards this kind of tone a lot, but this I do love as well. I couldn't ignore both of these. So I got both blushes. And then I was really intrigued by the loose eyeshadows. This is something totally new. You know, I haven't seen, you know, I'm fairly new to Chanel, but I've never seen them use loose eyeshadows. And just in general, you know, this is not a product that you see coming out from many brands these days. So I got the two deepest shades. So I got 414 and 412. So you'll get to see me use both of these shades. And then I also got a lipstick, a Rouge Coco Bloom in the shade 160, which is Wild. So this is the deepest shade. This is totally up my alley. I have tried this formula before, so I already knew I was in love with this formula, but I was super excited to get it in these shades. And if you're wondering about my makeup, yes, 4 out of the 5 products are on my face now. So yes, on the eyes, I have both loose powder eyeshadows on. I have the mauve blush on my cheeks, and then I have the Rouge Coco Bloom on my lips. Don't worry, I have demo film to show you me applying all these products, me going through my learning curve with the loose eyeshadow eyeshadows. You're gonna get to see me do a look. You actually get to see not only this look that I created, another look when I first used these, the mauve products, and another look where I use the coral blush, so don't worry. You'll get to see all the products in action. And then after we go through, after you watch the demos, I will come back together and I will tell you my final thoughts on the products, what I've learned as I'm using them, and let you know what I really think about this collection. But so far, I think you can have a feeling that this might be a positive one. So let's take a closer look at the collection. Look at the beautiful embossing. These fall leaves imprinted on these blushes are beautiful. And then the Rouge Coco Bloom in this deep shade of 160 is so rich, beautiful. Now the loose eyeshadow powders, I've swatched them on my hand, the two deepest shades, 414 and 412. And yes, they are pigmented. Here's a closer look at the lipstick, a good swatch of that. And here's a swatch of the blushes. It is light swatches on my skin tone. All right, we're gonna try these Chanel products for the first time. So we'll see how this all works out. You know, I'm excited, but also scared, particularly of the eyeshadow. So we'll have to trial and error, see how this loose eyeshadow works. I already have my base on. It's not Chanel for the most part. It's a Douceur Air Flash. I got Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Concealer and Cream Contour. Pat McGrath under eye powder. I did use a Chanel powder to set the rest of my face. I do have Pat McGrath eyeshadow primer on the eyes. So the base is done. Okay, guys, so we are going to try these out. So I got these two shades of two darkest shades, 412 and 414. We will see how this works out. We'll see also if I like the applicator that comes with this or if I'm going to have to use a brush. I have a feeling I might need the brush. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to start with the lightest shade first in 412 because I do have some concerns about this, and especially, you know, I think it's one thing if I'm going to apply this on my lid. It's another thing if I'm going to use this in the crease. And I wanted to use the lighter shade in the crease. So I feel like I need to use a brush. Like, this is kind of freaking me out to use an applicator. Just knowing how I like to apply eyeshadow in my crease. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to try to pour this out and use a brush, at least for this part. When I apply shadow on my lid, I will try to use the applicator. So I'm going to do a little bit of both, okay? So bear with me. Let's see if this works out, okay? Here we go. All right, so what I actually did, and I'll show you in a minute, but I swiped the applicator on my hand and then dipped the brush into it. So I literally took the applicator and just did a swipe on my hand, and then I just dipped it into the brush. And doing this, it's actually applying with no problem, actually. And I think this is actually pretty good pigmentation and actually smooth. You know, I worried, some reviews are questioning the pigmentation, some reviews are talking about patchiness. I don't have the problem. That actually seemed really easy. I think I'm gonna have to apply another swipe for the other eye, so I'll do this together with you so you can see. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if I have to shake or not, but just, it's dipped in. I have some product on my hand, and I'm just gonna apply some directly on my hand, and then I'm dipping my brush right into it and then going directly into my eye. So no issues. Like, obviously now I got a messy hand that I don't mind cleaning up. So in terms of that application, but by doing this, I'm not making a big mess on my counter or anything. I'm not having fallout. That applies beautifully. And this is, you know, on my skin tone, I think this is a beautiful shade to use in the transition. Okay, so far so good. Let's go to the deeper shade. I was using a Wayne Goss number 3 on my crease. So now we're going to the deepest shade, 414. I'm actually going to first actually try applying it on my lid with the applicator. So let's see how it works with an applicator. So this is where, you know, things could potentially get a little messy. So now, but I was able to apply it. Actually, it wasn't actually that bad. I'm going to go in with a brush to kind of, you know, clean things up and smooth things out, because, you know, an applicator can only do so much. But all considering, it applied decently well. And I'm just, you know, also spreading it deeper into my crease so it all kind of blends in. This is actually, you know what? You know, I was really scared about this loose powder, but this is actually working better than I thought. I really did. I'm actually not going to this time put it on my hand, but I'm going to take my brush and just touch the applicator, because I want to just put a little bit more into the crease and just spread outward. So you can also do it that way, and that way I'm not using my hand. But yeah, I like this. You know, I don't care. For me, I feel like I have to, at a certain level, use a brush, but the applicator actually was not bad. So I'm going to clean things up, and then we'll come back. I was going to do the second eye off camera, but I had to show you this, because look what happened. I was dipping just with the applicator. I think one thing I should have done is knocked off any excess beforehand, which I didn't. So one of the things I figured what would happen, but did, is this. Because we were talking about loose eyeshadow. So obviously, I would knock off any excess, probably do your eyes before your base. I'll clean things up, but I wanted you just to see what happened in the interim. All right, we'll come back together in a second. You might as well see the cleanup. I actually just took the Sonia G brush and just kind of brushed it off. I still, have some pigmentation there that looks like a bruise, but I was at least able to just kind of just brush it off a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go in with a concealer brush and kind of magic erase this. So once again, I'm gonna try to fast forward to the finished eye look in a second. So I just, kind of blended edges and everything, but simple look, but I think it actually came out nice. Later I will put some mascara. I might even use a highlighter, just put a little inner corner highlight, that kind of thing. But I wanted to jump ahead to the product that probably most people are the most interested in, and it is the blush. For this look, I think I'll probably just stick to this blush just because it'll go best with the eye look and the lipstick that I got. And then I'll do the orange blush on a different day. We're going to see how well this shows up on me. I had just done a little swatch for myself earlier, and it showed up, but it was, lighter on my skin tone than, it's showing up on other fair tone skin tone reviews that I've noticed. So we'll see, though. I haven't actually used it with a brush on my face. That's what we're going to do now. I brought a couple of different brushes, some lighter, some denser, but I figure I might as well start with the Chanel. Hey, it's Chanel blush. And I've been actually really loving this brush. This is what came with my travel case. So hopefully this will work well just with this brush alone. If I need to dip out to other brushes to improve the intensity, we'll see. But this is already actually pretty dense brush already, so I think this should do the job. And last time when I swatched, I kind of just stuck to the mauve area, but on my cheeks, it's going to have the center. It's kind of unavoidable, and we want to see it all together. So here we go. Last look at the imprint because I'm scared I'm going to lose the embossing. So here we go. My beautiful CC. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is just one swipe. So you can see it on my cheek. It's light though, but it's there. Now it is buildable, so that's great to see. So that's actually really pretty, really pretty. So, for fair skin tones, I understand how this could be a shade that could be scary. I've seen people kind of almost use it almost like a contour for them. But for me, this is a blush. But this is beautiful. It shows up. It is a beautiful shade. I actually really like it. So this is, I would still say, is Brown Girl. Now the highlighter, it's not part of the collection. This might have been the first Chanel highlighter I ever bought, but this is Pearls de Lumiere. Just gonna don't worry, I clean things up, but what a beautiful shade on my skin tone. And I'm also gonna use it as an inner corner highlight. But this is one of the highlighters that I love so much. So I'm gonna switch to an eyeshadow brush. I just feel like I just need to put a little something in the inner corner. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go off camera, put some mascara. You know what? I think I might use a Chanel eyeliner. Just thinking, let me do this on camera. This is Chanel Cassis is the shade. It's a Stylo Yeux waterproof eyeliner. I figured this shade would pair well with the loose eyeshadow, the deep one that I got. So I figured pair some in my classic Chanel products with the look. So let me add some. So mascara and bronzer is on. So last thing to do is lipstick. So it's the Rouge Coco Bloom in the darkest shade 160 Wild. So this was a shade that I was most interested in. Look at me stumbling over my words. I am familiar with this formula. I own one other one, but I'm excited for this shade. So let's put this on. Beautiful. So what I love about this is just, it feels fantastic. So as you can see, it's moisturizing, juicy. This shade is gorgeous. I love this shade, and you know, it goes well with the eyeshadow, with the blush. This combination of the loose eyeshadow, the blush, the lips, yes, yes. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. All right, so I'll do another look with the orange blush, the coral. And that look, I'm sure I'm gonna have a totally different eye look, lipstick. And then we'll talk about all the products all together. So hopefully the coral comes out looking as beautiful as the mauve shade is right now. Okay, guys, now for the coral blush. If you're curious, got the same base as in my previous look, but the eyes are courtesy of Suku this time. Using my Chanel brush again, because I just feel like it is just so effective with any blush for that matter. All right, here we go. So once again, it is showing up on my skin. It is not necessarily the most boldest blush, but it does show up and it is buildable. And I just think it has a nice, it's just really pretty. It's soft, it's not a matte. So I think this is actually pretty on me as well. So I'm happy to know that it does show up on my skin tone. It's gonna be a soft look, but it shows and it's beautiful. All right, doing a second quick look with the loose eyeshadow powders, starting with the lighter shade. And we've learned our lesson, so we're keeping it on the hand. And then we'll take a brush to apply. I'm gonna do this one on the inner half of my eye, and then we'll go the darker on the outer half. So this is gonna be a nice, simple look. I've added some more to my hand. Just doing a nice dense brush. I'm just gonna apply it like on the inner third of my eye, and then the outer half I'll use a deeper shade. So we'll see how this comes out, but not dealing with fallout, doing it by this method. Now taking some of the darker shade, putting it on my hand again, using the brush, and then putting this on the outer half. I think, you know, these two shades kind of blend well into each other. I don't know if it's going to be really distinguish each other doing it this way, but I wanted to see how they look next to each other. And dense brush, just putting the darker on the outer V, just to provide a little dimension there. So yeah, doing it by this method, yeah, I don't mind applying this on my hand, but I'm not dealing with fallout all over my face, because I am someone who likes to do my base first, for better, for worse. I just can't help it. Going back in some more with the lighter shade, and I just want to see with my finger how that application works. So yeah, doing the lighter of the two on the inner half and the darker on the outer half. I think this looks nice too. Okay, so I went ahead and did the other side. So I think this is a nice look. Obviously, you have to be in the mood for a light, kind of one and done kind of look, but I think it came out well. Yeah, my hand, I'll have to wash off my hand because here's the aftermath of my hand. But by doing this, I didn't deal with any fallout on my face, nor my my bathroom counter. So I think it came out nicely. I already applied the mauve blush using the Chanel blush. I'll try to just add a little more. I want to see more if I swirl a little bit more, just to see what it looks like. And it's a beautiful blush, not super pigmented, but it gives this healthy glow to my skin, and obviously pairs well with this particular eye look. And then I'm gonna use the Coco Flash Bloom in the shade 160. I'll show you what it looks like to put a sheer layer. I even have a little bit of residual on my lips now, but I'll show you what a sheer layer looks like, and then we'll build it up. So if you, someone who doesn't like it, like, and I probably could have even gone sheerer, to be honest, but I could have done more blotting. I couldn't help myself. But if, you know, if this is too deep for you, you could just kind of blot, and then you can build up the pigmentation, as you see. So you could choose to just kind of blot if you just want a staining of the lips, or just like one light layer, or you can build it up so you can see full opacity. So here's the final look. Hello, welcome back. So let me give you my final thoughts on the product. So let me first just quickly get this out the way when it comes to the lip product. I love the Rouge Coco Bloom formula, and I know, guys, I still owe you a video giving you my review of all the Chanel lip formulas. So I will eventually go in detail about Chanel lipsticks, but in this one, as you can see, it is a comfortable moisturizing formula. It is pigmented. It's up to you if you want to keep it sheer or build it up. I love this shade. You know, I just talking about the collection in general. I'm in love with this collection. This screams fall. Fall collection, this is it. You know, I know that not everyone is going to be in love with all the shades, you know, but as someone of a deeper skin tone, I am loving the direction that Chanel's going these days, because they've been picking shades that honestly do show up on my skin tone and I'm not feeling excluded. But I know it's not for everyone. But for me, this shade, and they have, you know, nice pinky nude, so don't worry. You know, there's more selection than this, but you know, this is so up my alley, and I just thought it went well with the other products that I chose. So yes, if you see a shade that you love, go for it. Only one out of these 5 shades are actually new, so you don't have to feel like you have to rush to go get this, okay, guys? But if you have a shade that you like, go for it, get it whenever you like. But formula-wise, 2 thumbs up with that one. All right, and now to the product that I was the most intrigued about, but also the most scared to use. And from the demos, you can see why. I got the 2 deepest shades. I got the shade 414, which is Murier Noir, which translates to Black Mulberry. I think that's a good name. And the other one is 412 is Bois de Marant, which means amaranth wood. So I guess some type of wood, and given the brownish tone shade, I think that makes sense. So as you could tell from the demos, and you know, I'm happy, like I showed you, like first time using it, coming in with like no idea how to use it, so you could see all my trials and tribulations with using it. You know, as you could tell, you know, this is not, obviously it's not an easy product using a loose pigment rather than a normal pressed eyeshadow. So number one, you know, you got this really stubby applicator, which that was something of a concern. But actually, you know, if you're really just trying to get on the lid, it's actually not as hard as you may think. But the big thing is that you have to watch out for fallout, particularly if you do not tap out the excess. So it is super important that you tap out the excess, because you take it straight from the bottle and just put it on, you can get a lot of fallout, and especially if you get the deeper tones, it's going to be even more prominent. What you saw is the method that I use the most, and in the end, I think is the best method to do, is to actually apply it on the hand and then take a brush and apply it on your eyes. By doing that method, I really didn't get any fallout. So I think that is the best way to go. Obviously use an eyeshadow primer. I use eyeshadow primer with all my looks anyway, but I certainly did it with these. But use by first placing on your hand and then using a brush, I think the application will be beautiful without mess. That's my advice. So, you know, because I know that's going to be the major turnoff for people, but I think if you do it that way, you won't have mess. Yes, your hand, you're going to have to wash off your hand, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I love these eyeshadows. Now, you have to also understand what you're getting into. Number one, this is Chanel, you know, so don't expect these hyperpigmented shades. And number one, we're also talking about loose powders. So you have to recognize that these are going to be like a wash of color, that these are great for like doing one and done looks. Okay, so this don't have the same expectations that you have when you have, you know, a quad or quint eyeshadow. You know, I'm somebody who loves doing eyeshadows with 5 to 7 shades. I'm not normally one to do 1 or 2 shadows, but this has actually opened my mind to do that. And I actually love this look. You know, sometimes, you know, especially now, you know, since I've turned 42, like there are days I just want to just do a quick, simple eye look. I don't want it too intricate. And when you just want to run out and just do a simple wash of color, I think these are gorgeous. So just, you know, go into it knowing what you're getting, what kind of style of eyeshadow it is, to understand the, you know, that it's going to give you this beautiful wash of color that, you know, it's great, you know, especially with the tones that I picked to create a smoky eye look. You know, I am kind of interested in maybe going back and get some of the lighter shades, but just, you know, have an idea of what kind of finish you're getting, but you're very open to this finish. And like I said, use my technique of using a brush off the back of your hand. It is not a hard product to use and will not be the messy mess that you expect. Okay, let's talk about the blushes. I think that's the product that most people were most excited for. You know, obviously the embossing is everything, the leaf pattern, the CCs. For me, these particular tones would be, not that these are revolutionary tones, but these are just tones that, especially for me, these are go-to tones for me. So for me, this was like an automatic, was gonna get it. Now, you know, I hope you appreciate, once again, like the eyeshadow, this is Chanel. So don't expect hyperpigmented blushes. This is not Pat McGrath, okay? But on my skin tone, it actually still shows up on me. And I have a beautiful glow to my skin. I didn't even add highlighter today. In a lot of the initial demos I did put some highlighter. I'm glowing without highlighter. Now I am using the Chanel #1 foundation, and that has a glowy finish, so I recognize my foundation base is glowy as well today. But this blush is also giving this beautiful glow, and I'm just loving it. So you just have to know that this is the finish that you're gonna get a soft glow to your cheeks. It's not gonna be a hyperpigmented Pat McGrath blush, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either. It's good to have, in my opinion, have both. There's days I want hyperpigmented eyeshadow and blush, and there's other days I actually appreciate a soft glow like this. So, like I said, these aren't revolutionary colors. Are there shades? I'm sure we can all find dupable shades. The more recent blushes that I could think of that would be most reminiscent are actually from Gucci. Because I was thinking about the 2 Gucci blushes that I own, Warm Berry and Soft Red. So I will show you these. I think these would probably be the closest dupe. So if you do own these, I understand if you want to skip this. I love these blushes, and these also give a soft, glowy finish. So also formula-wise and color-wise, these would be similar. So in terms of the Mauve blush, these 2 are going to be similar. I'm going to swatch them for you. There is a little bit of difference, so I don't feel like it's an exact dupe, but I understand that, you know, in terms of the feel, you know, both are giving you Mauve berry. So I'm just swatching the Chanel. I'm sorry, these might not be the best swatches, and I'm swatching the Gucci. I did this pretty close to each other, but here is Chanel and here is Gucci. Chanel leans more purple and the Gucci leans more red. They're both in the berry, but this is more purple and more red. So they're not the same. They're actually not. So even though they're giving a berry feel, one's more purple, one's more red. So it's not a complete dupe, so you don't necessarily have to feel bad, I would say. Now, especially for those of you of my skin or deeper who are going, you're not liking the depth. Like I said, and it's buildable, so I know the swatch does not look good on my arm, but as you can see, it does build up on my skin tone. But if you want a berry blush that is much deeper and pigmented, I do have some other choices for you. Giorgio Armani's Neo Nude. This was their deeper shade. This, I believe, is a Cool Plum. This is Cool Plum. Just gonna wash my hand, and you'll see the difference in depth. So this will give you kind of similar tone to the Chanel, but obviously much deeper. And then also from Valentino, the Ida Cheek in number 11. This is another blush that I love as well. And same thing, it's kind of that same family. And this is definitely has some more depth. So these two, you know, as you can see, have much more depth than Chanel. So if you're not liking the depth of Chanel, but you want still something very mauve, here you go, some other luxury brands. But yeah, if you really look, it's really not like the Gucci as you might think, just looking at it in the pan. So let me do some quick coral comparisons. So we talked about one potential dupe with the coral blush from Chanel would be Soft Red from Gucci. So let me first swatch the coral blush, and next I am going to swatch the Gucci. Okay, Chanel and Gucci. And I know you're like, oh, you can't even see the Chanel. Let me try to see if I can get a better swatch. Yeah, they don't swatch well. I'm gonna tell you right now, they do not swatch well. Maybe that's a little bit better. So there's the Chanel and there's Gucci. So there, you know, the Gucci might be a little bit more pinker and the Chanel being more orange, but they're similar. So, you know, I totally get if you got the one, maybe you don't need the other. So there's that one. I was trying to think of another luxury coral or orange blush. I don't have too many, but I have this limited edition Dior blush 332. It was from a fall collection, if not last year, it might have been 2 years ago. So for those who might have this, I know this is a blush that many people might have missed out on. So this is not something that you can easily repurchase. You'd have to buy it off of somebody. And there's the Dior. Now the crazy thing is, you know, you might say, oh, this is swatching so much better. This is more pigmented than this one. I've had a lot of issues that this does not, believe it or not, show up on me. I have to really work hard with a dense blush to work up on me. So the Chanel is not swatching well, but you can see from the demo and the pics what it looks like on my skin tone. So it is super soft, but it is buildable. It does show up on me. You know, so between the two, I would say the Mauve is a little bit more brown girl friendly, but I can work with both. I'm willing to work with both. So anyway, as you can see, I love the blushes. I like the formula. Sure, because Chanel go deeper and more pigmented, always. But, you know, for Chanel, I guess, you know, this is pretty good. So I'm loving my look today. And, you know, this is all, you know, Chanel 2023. In my opinion, I think Chanel did a fantastic job. I'm loving the concept. I'm loving the embossing. I'm loving the shades, and I'm loving how my makeup came together. So for me, I say thumbs up to this collection. I'm tempted to get another loose eyeshadow. We'll see. I don't know if I'll actually do that, but I have zero regrets with this purchase. So I hope you found this helpful, and you know, we will be back again for a review of the next luxury item that comes into my collection. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please do so. I'm Daps_makeup because I am the most active there. I post all my looks on Instagram prior to showing my YouTube video, and there's a lot of things that I post on there that doesn't come to YouTube. I do a lot of makeup of the day, looks, swatch comparisons, and so forth. But nevertheless, Thank you for watching this. Thank you for making it this far. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.